Hello. Right. Today our topic is about force. As you already very well know about the term force. Generally, we are using this force in our regular life. So, by the definition, a force can be defined as a push or pull of an object. So, a push or pull of an object which represents that force. Force is generally we are applying in our regular life. A push or pull of an object. This force can be classified into two types: contact force, and non-contact force. Contact force and non-contact force. This non-contact force is also called as field force, and this is also called as force at a distance. Force at a distance. So all the three names it has, right? Non-contact force or field force or force at a distance. Okay, children. Coming to the definition of this contact force can be defined as the force which acts between two bodies which are in contact is nothing but a contact force, which means the two bodies must be in contact and some amount of force acts between the two bodies, then it is called as a contact force. Coming to the definition of non-contact force, this non-contact force or field force or force at a distance can be defined as the force which acts between two bodies which are not in contact. Even though the two bodies are not in contact and it is body 1 and body 2, there is no contact between these two bodies. Even though there is no contact between these two bodies, some amount of force acts between these two bodies, and that force comes under the category of non-contact force. And coming to the examples of contact force and non-contact force. So first of all, the examples of contact force. First example is muscular force, normal force, tensional force, frictional force. So these are the four important forces, and along with these, mechanical force also comes under the category of contact force. So not only these, we have so many, but these are important in our topic. Next one, under the category of non-contact force, the first one is gravitational force. Second one is magnetic force. Third one is electrostatic force. And last one is nuclear force. Right. So these are the four types of examples which are given under the category of contact force and non-contact force. So I will explain each and every example, so which are very important in our topic, force. So first one, in the category of contact force, the first force is about muscular force. So muscular force can be defined as the force which acts by using our body muscles. For suppose, if you are I am drawing the duster with the help of our body muscles. A bullock cart pulls the cart. So the force applied by the bullock also comes under the muscular force. Remember, this muscular force is also called as biological force. Muscular force is also called as biological. It is also known as biological force. Biological force. And next one, under this contact force category, next one is normal force. What it is? Normal force. Normal force. So it can be defined as the force which acts perpendicular to the surface. The force which acts perpendicular to the surface. The force which acts perpendicular to the surface. Perpendicular to the surface. Suppose that means if I place a book on the bench, it is a surface and it is a book. So on the book there are two types of force acting on the book. One is acceleration due to gravity, that is in vertically downward direction, and another one is normal force which is always acts in vertically upward direction. Remember, the normal force is due to the surface. The normal force is due to the surface which is acting on the book in upward direction. That's why the book is on the surface of the bench. So here, if you observe this normal force and surface, these are perpendicular. These are perpendicular. That means the angle between the two are 90 degrees. Remember, the normal force comes to play when the body is on the surface. If the body is not on the surface, then the normal force does not come to play. Next one is tensional force. Next one is tensional force. So the tensional force acts when a body, if a body hangs to a rope or rod. When a body hangs to a rope or rod, then tensional force acts. Then tensional force acts. Then the tensional force acts on the rope, on the rope or rod. So it is the roof. To this roof, a body is hanging with the help of a rope. So the tensional force acts on the rope because the body is hanging. Right. Next, frictional force. Next one is frictional force. So frictional force, remember, frictional force is very important. It is a special case of the force. Frictional force is always opposite to the applied force. Frictional force is always opposite to the applied force. So coming to the definition, the friction force can be defined as the force which always opposes the relative motion between two surfaces which are in contact. Once check the definition of the friction force. The friction force can be defined as the force which always opposes the relative motion between two surfaces which are in contact. So here the important term is opposes. So friction force always opposes the applied force. For suppose if it is on the surface, I placed an object and I am trying to push the object in this direction, in this particular direction. So by the definition, it is opposes the relative motion. That means if the upright force is acting in a particular direction, then the friction force acts in opposite direction to the upright force. So here in this direction I am pushing the object, so that friction force acts in opposite direction, so that it opposes the relative motion of the object. In this way we can define these four terms. Next, last one is mechanical force. Remember, mechanical is nothing but a machine. Mechanical force is nothing but a machine, right? So there is nothing about this. If a force acts by a machine, the force acts by a machine is nothing but a mechanical force, right? These are the definitions for the types of forces under the contact force. Next one is non-contact force examples. In the category of non-contact force examples, the first one is gravitational force. First one is gravitational force. So this gravitational force is due to the acceleration due to gravity of the earth. So gravitational force can be defined as the force of gravity. The force of gravity acts on a body. Acts on the body. The force of gravity acts on the body, which defines that the gravitational force. So remember, the gravitational force always acts vertically downwards to the object. So this also can be defined as the objects which pull each other. The object which pulls each other due to the gravity. Due to the gravity of the earth. So this also can also be defined as the force of gravity acts on the body in downward direction, in vertically downward direction. Okay, so this, which means the gravitational force acts on the body by the earth. The force of gravity acts on the body in vertical downward direction by the earth. So simply, gravitational force always acts on the body by the earth. Always pulls, and this gravitational force is always pulling force. This gravitational force is always a pulling force. Next. So, for example, here it is a piece of chalk and downwards it is the surface, like earth surface. If I left this piece of chalk, what happens? Is there any initial contact between the piece of chalk and the surface? No. Even though there is no contact between the piece of chalk and the surface, the piece of chalk gets attracted towards the surface. Right. And this force comes under the category of gravitational force. Right. Second one is magnetic force. Second one is magnetic force. And this magnetic force, as you know that magnet attracts magnetic materials and other magnets. So the force of attraction or repulsion by the magnets. So magnet attracts magnetic materials like iron, and magnet also attracts other magnets. If the two poles of a magnet are similar, then repulsion takes place. If the two poles are not similar, then attraction between the two magnets takes place. So even though there is no contact between the two magnets or magnet and magnetic material, some amount of force of attraction or repulsion takes place between the two magnets and magnetic materials, and that force is nothing but magnetic force. Third one is electrostatic force. Electrostatic force. So electrostatic force This electrostatic force is due to the charged bodies. The force of attraction or repulsion. The force of attraction or repulsion between two charged bodies. So, for example, it is positive charge and it is negative charge, then attraction takes place. If it is positive charge and it is also a positive charge, then repulsion takes place. If the charges are similar, then the two charges are repulse each other. The charges are opposite in nature, then the attraction between the charges will take place. For example, when you switch on the TV, if you place your hand towards the TV screen, your hair will get attracted towards the TV screen. That is due to the electrostatic force. Okay. Next, nuclear force. Remember, nuclear force is which acts in the atoms. So all the objects are made up of materials. So each and every material is made up of some atoms, some particles. And each particle contains atoms. In an atom there are electrons, protons and neutrons. The force of attraction between electrons, protons and nucleus. So the force of attraction between electrons, protons and neutrons, nucleus, which makes the electrons to revolve around that nucleus. So that force is nothing but nuclear force. Remember, nuclear force is very weakest force. It is the weakest force. So why it is the weakest force? Because this is a piece of charge which is made up of particles. In these particles, it is some atoms are there. In this atom, there are electrons, protons, and neutrons. So by simply, if I amount very small amount of force, I break that molecules which are present in this object. So we can break this chain. We can break this chain very easily, so that the nuclear force is the weakest force of all the forces. So these are the examples under the category of contact force and non-contact force. Now, what are the changes we can make by applying force? So by applying force, what are the changes we can make? So this is going to be discussed now, right? So by applying force, changes can be made. Changes can be made by force. So what are the changes we can make by using the force? First one, by using force, we can change the shape, size, dimensions of an object. So by using force, how can I change the shape? How can I change the size? How can I change the dimensions? For example, it is a duster. What is the shape? The shape of an object is rectangle. So I apply some amount of force, right? So whenever I apply some amount of force on this object, the shape changes or not? Yes, the shape changes. So whenever the shape changes, the size changes or not? So actually it is in this size. By applying force, I change this size to very small one. So whenever the size changes, the dimension automatically changes, right? And the change in shape, size and dimensions are of two types: temporarily and permanent. Temporary or permanent. Temporary change and permanent change. temporary. By applying some amount of force on this duster, it comes under the case of temporary change. Okay, right. Now, permanent change. Permanent change. So the shape of this paper is rectangle. I applied some amount of force on this so that it changes its shape, size, and also dimensions. Of course, if you remove the force, it cannot regain its original shape and size, and also by applying force, we can make this object to regain its shape, size, and dimensions. But if I tear this paper, can I again regain by applying force with its shape and size and dimensions? You cannot. So comes under the category of permanent change, and this comes under the category of temporary change. Right. Second point, by using force, we can change the object from rest to motion and vice versa. Which means by applying force, we can change the object which is in rest to motion and from motion to rest. For example, I kept an object here which is in rest position. Okay, by applying some force, I make this object to motion, from rest to motion. Okay, for suppose in the game of cricket, whenever the bowler bowls the ball, the batsman hits the ball. Okay, so that a fielder is at the boundary, so the fielder tries to catch the ball. So initially, when the position of the ball is in motion, whenever the fielder catches the ball, that motion comes to rest position. So that is possible by applying force. Okay, so by applying force, we can change the position of the object. That means from rest to motion and motion to rest. Third point, we can control the speed of an object. So, if I apply small amount of force on this object, here the object moves slowly. So, if I apply more amount of force, the object moves faster. So, you can compare these two. So that we can change the speed. That means from slower to faster or from faster to slower. So this is possible by applying force. Next, we can change the shape, size, dimensions. We can change the object from rest to motion and motion to rest. We can control the speed of an object, and also we can make an object the object. So what is the we can change the position. So we can change the position. That means we can move the object from one place to another place. We can move the object from one place to another place. So what are the changes we can make by applying force? We can change the shape, size, dimensions. We can change the object from rest to motion and motion to rest. We can control the speed of an object, and we can change the position as position we already discussed, and also we can change the direction of an object. We can change the direction of an object. For example, in the game of cricket, the bowler bowls a ball in this direction. Here batsman is there. So whenever the batsman hits the ball, that ball can change its direction in this direction or in any direction that depends upon the batsman. So, and also whenever we are riding a bike, it is the path to be traveled. So, if you are traveling in the straight path up to here there is a curve, so that we must change the direction. So, we must change the handlebar of the bike to change the direction, and that is possible with the help of the force. So these are the changes we can make by using force. So what are the changes we can make? We can change the shape, size, dimensions. We can change the object from rest to motion and motion to rest. We can control the speed of an object, and finally we can change the direction of an object. Now coming to the units of the force. Units of the force. So by the directive formula F is equal to ma, we got this equation by Newton's second law. So we will discuss the Newton's second law, first law and third law in the next class. So we can get the units by this equation F is equal to ma. So units SI unit are, for mass it is kg and acceleration it is meter by second square. Kg meter by second square, and this kg meter by second square is also called as Newton. It is also called as Newton. And CS unit it is gram centimeter by second square. This gram centimeter by second square is also called as dyne. Okay, and there is a relation between these two, Newton and dyne. So by converting SI to CGS, we can get the relation between Newton and dyne. So 1 Newton means 1 kg meter by second square, that is equal to kg. What is the value of kg? Converting kg to grams, and the value is 10 power 3 grams. And meter to centimeter, it is 10 power 2 centimeter by second square as common. When the bases are same, 10 and 10, the power should be added. 3 plus 2 5, that means 10 power 5 gram centimeter by second square. So that is equal to 10 power 5 gram centimeter by second square. Gram centimeter by second square is also called as dyne. So that is 1 Newton is equal to 10 power 5 dynes, and reverse value 1 dyne is equal to 10 power minus 5 Newtons. Important values. And also the gravitational units of force are there. Gravitational units of force. The gravitational units of force is also there. So gravitational units of force in SI system it is kg force or kg weight. Kg force or kg weight, right? If we need this value in normal conversion, that means in newtons or kg meter per second square, we must multiply 1 kg into 9.8 meter per second square, so that 9.8 kg meter by second square, that means 9.8 newtons. Gravitational units of force is kg weight or kg force. If we need this value in regular conversion, like in newtons and kg meter per second square, we must multiply this kg weight with 9.8 value, so that we can get that 9.8 kg meter per second square, which means 9.8 newtons. In CGS system, it is gram force or gram weight. So that means 1 gram into 980 centimeter by second square, that is equal to 980 centimeter gram centimeter by second square, which means 980 dynes. Why we are multiplying with only 9.8 and only 980? Which means the acceleration due to gravity, is denoted by the letter small g, and the value is in SI system it is 9.8 meter per second square. In CGS system it is 980 centimeter per second square. So in doing the problems, and these values are round off to 9.8, which becomes 10 meter per second square, and 980 becomes 1000 centimeter by second square. Okay. So these are the units of force. SI unit is km per second square, CS unit is gram centimeter per second square. Okay, Nama? And the relation between Newton and dyne is 1 Newton is equal to 10 power 5 dynes and 1 dyne is equal to 10 power minus 5 newtons. And gravitational units of force is kg weight and kg force. So if we multiply this kg weight in SI system with 9.8 value, we can get that in newtons. In C system, if we multiply that gram weight with 980 centimeter per second square, we can get the value in dynes. And G represents the acceleration due to gravity. And remember, this acceleration due to gravity, which is always acts in downward direction only. Acts in vertically downward direction. Okay, this is something about force, the basics, and in the next class we will discuss about laws of motion. Right? Thank you very much.